Let's now go to another guy who should have no business anywhere near the presidency, Donald Trump. Donald Trump kicked off his New Hampshire wing of the presidential campaign with a speech late last week in that state, in Manchester, New Hampshire. It was one of the most pathetic speeches I can recall from Trump, doing the woe is me stuff to a degree I've never seen. Trump's face, as usual, his right eye almost completely swollen shut. Trump seeming agitated and irritated, but hilariously, he kicked off the event announcing this is a major announcement. He is no longer going to use the crooked nickname for Hillary Clinton. He is now going to call Joe Biden Crooked Joe Biden, which is just super creative and exciting. But the crowd seemed to like it.
Against crooked Hillary Clinton. But today I'm going to do this, and I think this could be maybe the most important part of what I'm going to say, because this is going to be a major announcement. Are you ready? Is everybody ready? I will be retiring the name Crooked from Hillary Clinton and her moniker. And I'm going to give her a new name. I don't know, like maybe Lovely Hillary or Beautiful Hillary. But I'm going to retire the name Crooked so that we can use the name for Joe Biden, because he'll be known from now on as Crooked Joe Biden.
Just absolutely electrifying the crowd. And of course, as you all know, that'll get 6 million more people health care. So that's really something that is actionable and important for a presidential candidate to be talking about. And that was one of the better parts of the speech, I hate to tell you. And the New Hampshire crowd, particularly sycophantic. Trump bringing up Kim Jong-un, and talking about how great of a relationship he had with the dictator.
South Korea, we take care of their economy. We take care of everything.
By the way, being more critical of South Korea than North Korea here.
We take care of the military. They're right next door to Kim Jong-un. He and I have a very good relationship. People would say, it's not good to have a good relationship. Yeah, it's very good to have a good relationship. It really is. But he's not so happy with Biden. He says bad things about Biden. But what I really...
Yeah. Trump still seems to think that when dictators like you, it says something good about you. Now, of course, the truth is far more complicated than that. But this idea that we should be concerned that Kim Jong-un doesn't like Biden, if it's true, right? No, we should have been concerned by the degree to which Kim Jong-un felt he could roll right over Trump. And I actually recently read the new Bradley Hope book about North Korea, which I recommend to people. And it actually outlines a lot of the ways in which the Trump foreign policy towards North Korea, to the extent that there was foreign policy rather than just Trump's ego running everything, very much worth reading Bradley Hope's new book about North Korea. Now, at another point during the speech, Trump quotes Lenin and refers to him as Lenin. And this is another one of these things where we just don't really know how Trump gets into this.
You know, Lenin, did anyone ever hear of Lenin? He said, the vote counter is far more important than the candidate. Has anyone ever heard that?
Right.
Lenin, as they say, in Russia.
I almost thought Trump was going to be quoting some lyrics from the great song Imagine, written, of course, by John Lenin. But he didn't. He was quoting Vladimir Lenin there. Trump seemingly justifying just not debating in the Republican primary. And he talks about how Nixon and Reagan and Bush didn't debate. But of course, it was a completely different situation in that there was not actually a primary in those cases. Listen to this. And this is Trump starting to lay the groundwork to not participate in debates that might not go well for him.
Team, and they go prevent, say, bet on the opponent. And then they want to do something on the debates. Think of this. They want to debate. They want to have, I have people at 1/2 of 1%, 1/4 of 1%, 1%, 3%, 2%, 4%, 7%. And DeSantis is very low and crashing. He's crashing and burning. Don't forget, when he came to me, he was at 3%. So he failed in his campaign.
He said,
then
sir?
I endorsed him, which I could have done without. but I endorsed him and he went up a lot. But he went up and he won. But when he
Riveting stuff, as you can tell.
campaigned for a long time, he failed. And now he's failing again because now he's getting a chance to campaign without Trump, to put it mildly. To put it mildly. But so these debates, you know, Nixon and Reagan and Bush number one, others. No, they didn't debate in the primaries.
Now, why didn't they debate in the primaries? It was because they were sitting presidents running for re-election. Of course, the difference is Trump is not currently the president, although maybe he thinks he is, maybe his followers think that he is. So there's an open Republican primary. That's just the reality. Trump then weirdly turns on one of his earliest and strongest supporters, Senator Lindsey Graham, who was recently on TV crying because Trump needed money. He calls Lindsey Graham a progressive. This is a really strange moment.
And it's called reciprocal. Reciprocal. So if India charges our companies 100, we charge their companies 100. It's very simple. And yet we have people in Congress that say, no, I don't think that's good. Anybody that says that's no good, very interesting. Lindsey Graham, the progressive from South Carolina.
And the crowd boos. I thought they liked Lindsey.
No, he's a progressive, but he's got some good things too, okay? But Lindsey Graham, I said to him, Lindsey, you got to go along with this. We were all set to get it done. You got to go along with this. He says, so let me get this straight. If they charge us, we charge them.
Sir?
The same thing. He said it's not his strength. Other things are his strength. He said, so they charge us, we charge them, same thing, right? Yeah, you got my vote. That's so easy.
All right. So I guess Lindsey Graham, you know, when I think of your classic progressive, I, of course, think immediately of Lindsey Graham. Really strange moment. Trump did that disgusting anti-transgender weightlifting routine. And this really titillated the crowd. Probably the most electrifying moment of the speech.
Should I do it? I'm going to do it.
All right. That's Trump visibly straining to lift weights, which is really one of the favorite things. I mean, the crowd was pretty dead throughout, so that wound him up a little bit. Trump did deal with policy, sort of dealt with policy by saying he will put in his travel ban again. And he mentions something about, you saw that, right? But of course, it's like never clear what he's talking about.
Out of here. And I will restore my travel ban to keep radical Islamic terrorists out of our country. You saw what happened. 4 years. 4 years we went. 4 years. You
What?
saw that, right? We were very tough on that. We don't want our buildings blown up. We don't want to have problems. The Biden out of here.
All right. So Trump also took questions, which was hilarious because he didn't answer any of them. Here's someone who asked him, how will you engage with Generation Z voters? And Trump just basically said, oh, we're already doing it. It's like, oh, all right, problem solved, I guess.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
My name's Christine. I'm from Atkinson, New Hampshire. And engaging with young voters is crucial. Here in New Hampshire, we have American First warriors like Caroline Levitt.
Right.
How do you plan to engage with Gen Z voters?
Well, I think we're doing that. And I tell you what, you would be shocked, like Charlie Kirk and others, the job that they do with their youth. It's a youth movement. It really is. That's another movement. You would be shocked to see how popular we are on college campuses. Much different than what you read.
Yeah. Well, we actually have the election results from 2020 and 2022. They are not engaging with Gen Z. And in fact, what's been going on with abortion is probably only going to turn off more Gen Z voters. So a ridiculous speech, but the crowd liked elements of it. So that gets us to our next question. Who goes to a speech like this? When you're using websites and apps, your device sends out data about you into the open. Who you are, where you go, things you like. That data then gets sold around for advertising purposes, which is why every time I connect to the internet, I use a VPN to hide my IP address. And our sponsor, Private Internet Access, is the most trustworthy VPN on the market. It's the only VPN that has proven multiple times in court they don't log your activity. Private internet access protects you from the prying eyes of hackers, your internet service provider, tech companies. Private internet access is also super fast for streaming and for downloads. You can watch your favorite streaming platforms as if you're in another country, like the UK, to access cool new content. And with just one account, you can protect unlimited devices all at the same time. This is really a game changer. Private internet access is giving my audience 83% off. That's $203 a month plus 4 months free. Go to piavpn.com/Pacman. The link is down below.